Hey, on my Travel Ones podcast today, I'm lucky to have Christina Papavlasopoulos. How are you today, Christina?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Christina is a co-founder of a really cool company called Shefari, which is obviously a great company name. How did you come up with that name?
Oh, well, my partner and I, we were trying to brainstorm on something that was kind of, it was related to women's travel that would be memorable and just cheeky enough. And I gave her, I kind of was the ideas person, Pete. I gave her all the ideas, and my business partner, Nectaria, is kind of the editor. And she said, the minute I said Shefari, kind of a play on she and safari, she was like, that is it. We're running with it.
Got it.
Yeah. And it gets reactions, absolutely. Yep.
Did you keep any of the other possible names? I'm always curious, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What were we thinking? That was crazy.
We did. We had some were, we had some incorporated with kind of the idea of Europe or roaming, wanderlust, but those are, the wanderlust is pretty played out. So we were like, okay, let's focus on the idea of the girl getaway or the spirit of the woman's trip. So we stuck with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's
Thank you.
An almost 5-year-old company, from my understanding. And then what exactly do you guys provide? Because I thought it was pretty awesome, but I'll let you explain it.
Thank you. Yes, so we're actually kind of in the process of pivoting. We began as a custom travel boutique, so we were doing customized itineraries and trip building. Again, our idea and our branding, the core of it is connecting women through the art of travel. But we also, by default, we were based in Greece and Europe, so we were doing a lot of planning for Greece and Southern Europe, and we were getting honeymoons and family trips and a whole slew of things, which we really enjoyed. But just this year, we decided to kind of refocus back onto join-in group trips for women, what we call transformative travel. So we're starting with a retreat series and other kinds of trips that we're going to be rolling out in 2020, such as, spiritual journeys, wellness, yoga, so a lot of different kinds of trips like that.
It's female-based, correct?
Yes. We still do provide planning for all, but the idea of the join-in group trips is that it is female-based. Mm-hmm.
A husband and dad of 2 adult daughters, I like seeing women come to the forefront, and it's one of the things I was really excited about talking to you is, what were some of the overcomes that you had to deal with? Excuse me.
Oh, in general, like in terms of getting it started, or?
Yeah, you're based in Europe, but you're Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to go after mainly North Americans to travel to Europe, or are you also trying to pull from your countries as well?
Absolutely. So when we began, we were both residing in Europe, and we decided we just loved Greece, and we saw, and this was a few years ago, it's really booming now in tourism, and it was just kind of starting, and we wanted to be able to share that with people. And we knew where we could bring the most value is helping North Americans, Americans and Canadians and such, to get, with the valuable information of the small, I know it's a little bit overused, but as we say, the off the beaten path places, the really boutique mom and pop hotels, the unique activities to do that they wouldn't be able to find on their own, from unique premium olive oil tasting or a Mediterranean cooking class, from this, little Greek yaya to, cruises and wine experiences. So we wanted from living there and everything we experienced, we wanted to be able to deliver that to an audience and kind of provide that premium service. And it just, once people knew we were based there, it just kind of grew by word of mouth. We became kind of the Greek girls. Everybody knew to do travel planning with us there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all. One of my past guests was his name's Smush Parker, and he played professional basketball. He played for the Lakers, the Clippers, the Cavaliers, but then he also played over in Europe, and he played in Mongolia. He said the best place he's ever visited in 17 years of pro basketball, where he played, was in Greece.
Oh, yeah.
He said,
I wonder, my husband's a retired basketball player in Greece. I wonder if he may have played with him at some point.
Yeah, Smush Parker. He's probably in his mid-30s now.
Mm-hmm.
Mid to late 30s.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him. Neat.
Yeah, he said the beaches in Greece were the best he's ever seen around the world.
It's incredible. I mean, it really is, and I'm well traveled, and now I'm lucky. I spend quite a bit of time in Florida, and we have some of the top rated beaches. Love the Clearwater and St. Pete area, but having lived in Greece and been to multiple islands, from very cosmopolitan to very small and quaint, I mean, there's just something about it there that it's just incredible. It really is.
You're in the interesting juxtaposition of you're promoting some of it's vacation and honeymoon travel and that type of thing, but now with this transformative travel, you get to travel for your work, because obviously that's what you have to do.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to have to go to Greece and suffer through, but it's definitely when you're on a work schedule. So how do you balance having fun and making it joyous for everybody else, but still making sure everything happens the way it's supposed to? Because there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes.
Yes. So I would say, when we travel, so generally as a owner of a travel business, I travel for different reasons. I am, beginning now to join in on these trips. So although we're doing fun things and cruises and, nice dinners over great wine and that sort of thing, I always have to be aware that I'm leading this group, I'm responsible for this group, making sure all the logistics are taken care of. So there's that element to it. I often travel as well to scout destinations, as does my partner. So we're always being invited to check out new destinations. And although it's very tempting just to kick back and enjoy the property's pools or beaches, we really need to do our due diligence to ensure it is a good fit for our client. So that's another element. We also travel a lot for travel trade shows. There's an excellent one called World Travel Market in London. I kind of compare, it's like a huge conference center. It's almost like it's a small world. You've got countries and continents and different halls. But it's a really great way to kind of speed, network, and connect with global partners in the travel business. So when we're doing that, it's fast-paced. You've got to stay on time. We learned the hard way. We tried to pick up everybody was giving out free books and booklets, and I was just grabbing them. So by the end of the day, I think I had like my body weight in paper. Yeah. So then we knew the second time around, go lean. Just, do you have a USB? Can you email me this as a digital PDF? But we were so excited the first time getting these beautiful, hardbound books on Croatia or Turks and Caicos, and we came back with a library. So that was a learning experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have to do similar things. I have to go to the rodeo in Las Vegas. It's the World Championships. It's 10 days long. Oh, cool. So it's 10 days. I work during the day at our booth. I run one of our booths. We set up 9 different booths at 3 different locations. And so I have to show up 4 or 5 days before the show even starts to help set up all the booths, then work every day, and then usually 2 to 3 days of tear down. Tear down goes faster because hopefully you have a lot less product to box up. But, it all of a sudden it turns into 16 days in a Las Vegas hotel room. And it's like, maybe if I was in my 20s or 30s, it would be a lot more fun than in my 50s, where it's like 2 weeks in a hotel. Absolutely. Well,
Vegas is a tempting destination. I haven't done a trade show there yet. I think it would be hard to keep my business cool there. But when we do trade shows, we do some trade shows as well, mostly around the U.S., just catering to, women's kind of events or travel or women's lifestyle shows. And we just, set up booths, and we always try to incorporate fun games and just, we use it just to meet new people and build our email list and just kind of spread the word about our brand. But there always is the, how much can we take? You always want an impressive booth. Yeah. But by stocking up, as you mentioned, multiple days of teardown, it's like just the logistics of getting that all there is always tricky. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a whole separate job. Congratulations on being a newlywed.
Thank you. Yes.
And several months pregnant.
Yes, thank you.
So have you go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, that brings new traveling challenges.
That's where I was going. I was like, have you considered how much different your travel is going to be now?
Yes, and I mean, in general, as an entrepreneur, I'm examining, everything as a mother-to-be. And in terms of the travel, it's definitely different. I mean, even just I've done some recent travel and will continue to do so. And the plane is affecting me a little differently, and you know, where I've never been someone prone to motion sickness or anything, it's all a little different. But yeah, you know, in general, as an entrepreneur, I'm looking at things. I just want to, I'm really doing a focus on time management, and every day away from my husband and my family needs to be a day well spent. So I'm hoping my productivity will, you know, appropriately increase, because I just feel like with the baby coming and everything going on, if I do need to be away and incorporate that, I have a great support system with my family. But I think any parent, it's not just women, dads who are very involved as well, you know, keeping in mind that work-life balance is really important. Yeah,
obviously, it's me and my daughters are in their mid-20s living on their own, so I've done it. I'm done. You know?
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, when you're traveling, there's always what games are you going to miss? You know, what event are you going to miss? What birthday party are you not going to be able to make it to because you have to go on the road? And, you know, and which ones are you going to make?
Yeah, my dad he was very successful and worked in the international market, which was really neat for him. He got to see a lot of places. But, you know, I always knew him as an excellent father. But I know in his mind, he felt like he was missing a lot. So it's that, you know, we had great weekends, and when he had to travel, he did. And my mom, you know, I think as a team, whether it be, you know, if you're married, or also too, if you have an extended family support system, that's really helpful. But yeah, I'm going to be encountering all of that, and my business partner is extremely, you know, supportive in that as well. So we'll see, you know, how I'd like to take the appropriate time and spend it with my family, but you know, business must go on. So
it'd be interesting to see, because you've been so successful as a single person, and now as a married person, and now as a mom. The dynamics change.
Yes. But
and I think it'll be for the better, to be honest, because a lot of the women you're going to be dealing with are going to be moms, and they're going to use the reason, not excuse, but reason of, I've got family and my this and that. Now you're going to be able to maybe relate to it a little bit differently.
Yes, and I think some time away is good, because as we're doing an entrepreneurial retreat this October in Greece, which I'm super excited about, and we are seeing some moms that are interested in trying to figure out, you know, they're the mompreneurs, as we say, and trying to figure out the time away and balance. But it's really important for people to recharge, and even though it's kind of blurring the lines of work and business, because it will be a very immersive learning experience. We have, you know, amazing branding and e-commerce people coming along.
Speakers.
Really high-powered CEOs. We're going to have CEO of Dakatot. Her name is Lisa Furlan-Kotsianis. And the Greek brand Apivita, which is a skincare brand that's really grown recently. Their global communications director, her name is Marina Vasilata. She's going to come and talk about everything from e-commerce to influencer marketing. So it's going to be a really, and we have a wellness person, a business coach. We've got a team of 5-6 people, a really great photographer who has over 111,000 followers on Instagram. She's going to talk about social media engagement, do headshots. So it's really great experience. But I'm finding people, women are excited, but sometimes hesitant to come for even if it's 5 days. But I think they're seeing that the value of recharging and stepping away and just focusing on you and still focusing on the business, it helps you come back to your responsibilities in your day-to-day life more stronger and more recharged.
I mean, it's kind of like I don't want to shortchange it. Sounds like it's a vacation with purpose.
Exactly.
And you're going to a beautiful place, and you're experiencing wonderful experiences there, but at the same time, the speaking, the wellness, the photography, the social media campaign. I mean, it's all encompassing. It really
is, and it's nice that you kind of picked that up, the vacation with purpose, and that's kind of the idea of the transformative travel series. My partner kind of likened it to this incredible marathon of TED Talks meets the super amazing girl getaway. So it's just going to be kind of roundtable discussions about all different things. And I've just seen anytime I network and we start the conversations going, how did that work for you? And what are your tips for, improving social media? And did this campaign work? And to hear people, and then your brains start going, both from the leaders and the expert, but from one another, it's really, really helpful. I mean, I just feel like my pen flies off the paper when we do things like that. So that's exciting. And then the actual experience, a lot of retreats are, more low key, maybe 3-star or a bit more authentic. This is a really beautiful resort that we're going to. It's the Domes Miramare in Corfu. It's actually the hotel, the resort that was owned by Onassis, where Jackie O would come on vacation, which is pretty phenomenal. So it's the place has history. It's a 5-star accommodation with Michelin star dining incorporated, and we have really cool excursions. So I think it'll be just what women need to kind of reboot their business.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, not that I always tell my wife I never would want to be a woman. Ever. Like I said, having 2 adult daughters and a wife, there's too many negatives. But it's awesome that you're putting this together for females. It's something.
Thank you. We have our strengths. Yeah, ladies, we have our strengths and our challenges in life. But I just think when women connect in a certain way with one another, and men connect in a certain way with one another, and we just wanted to create a community kind of atmosphere where women can discuss business and struggles and just enjoy themselves with one another. So.
Yeah, and you're going to be further along. I mean, you're going to be pretty well pregnant by the time that comes around.
Yes, my plan is to go. We'll see. The great thing is I have a great backup. I mean, we have my business partner will be there, and Nectaria, and we have a great team there. So I would love to go. Of course, baby comes first. So if I cannot, I will definitely be there in spirit, Skyping in or FaceTiming in any way I can. And, I have great trips to look forward to in the next year. So
yeah, there'll be plenty for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you travel, I'm starting to ask all my guests, when you travel, what do you listen to, watch, do, how do you kill time, airplane time, hotel time, drive time for me?
I love traveling. I love traveling alone because I'm really focused. So I love working in the airport with my laptop and, getting some things done. I love planning on the plane. So I'll do a lot of my kind of strategizing, brainstorming, that sort of thing. I love to listen to Oprah Super Soul sessions.
Okay.
I enjoy podcasts because when I'm alone and I can just kind of, you're on the plane, there's nothing, I don't have to run and, do something in the house or change the laundry out, or, you're just kind of focused and you're very present. I like to listen to podcasts. And again, kind of in line with our company, we do kind of the spiritual and self-help aspect as well as business, growth and that sort of thing. And I just think the Super Soul podcasts really speak to me, and I enjoy those. Anytime I work, I do enjoy kind of jazz or blues and swing because it keeps me going, but it doesn't put me to sleep like classical might, but it's just a good, I've found since I was in college wanting to study, or I was working on art projects, I was always drawn to kind of a nice funky kind of jazz soul beat. So I like to listen to that.
Yeah, so that's cool because I listen to a lot of swing music on the 40s, the 40s Sirius
Love
channel, because I don't know the songs that well, so I'm not singing along. It allows me to think about other things, but I love the background noise, and it's an upbeat,
exactly,
like you said, versus the more traditional classical words. It can be heavy strings and downtrodden a little bit. But yeah.
Yes, if I want to sleep on a plane and I'm trying to get in my overnight, going internationally, I'll put on my eye mask and I'll put on noise canceling with classical soft, and I sleep like a baby. But if if I just kind of want to relax and maybe do it to a work background or something, I'll do that. The more kind of jazzy or swing.
Nice. What's I appreciate the time, and I want to make sure, and I'll definitely put this on the website. What's the best way for people to reach out and find out more information about the trip and just Shefari in general?
Okay, absolutely. So our website is Shefari, SHEFARI.com. And right on our website, on the landing page, you'll be able to see a link to the retreat. I think it's shefari.com, just /retreat 2019. They can also find it that way. They can connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Shefari Travel. And if they just want to shoot myself or my partner and I an email, an easy way is just info@shefari.com.
That's painless. Easy
peasy. And we try to reply quickly. She's based in Europe and I'm in the U.S., so we're like 24-hour, service. Yes.
Hopefully the correct 24 hours.
Yes.
You don't want to be the late night. That's funny.
Yes.
Well, like I said, I really appreciate it. The website is awesome, by the way. Really.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's very professional and very, very easy to get through.
Thank you. We had it designed in Greece and we've been building it out, since then. And we try to incorporate, images that inspire people and an easy interface as well. So thank you. I appreciate that.
And it's always a work in progress.
Absolutely. Constant. I have my web developer on speed dial all the time.
I use my daughter, my youngest daughter, for my main web, and then my cousin who that's what she does for a living. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to become a web designer. There's just too many.
Yes.
I know what I want, but I just can't. It was the same, it's like, no, I want that. No, I want the logo. No, more up. No. But, it was all remote,
Yes. And then they understand it differently than what we wanted. And then in the end, what actually serves us is something different than we thought we wanted. It's a constant growth process.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Totally have a complete different appreciation now for websites since
Yes.
I started my own. It's okay. I won't be so picky.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, I'll definitely put this out and make sure everyone can get a hold of you guys and see if we can add a few people to the trips. That would be awesome.
Thank you. Yes, it's we do have a few spots left for the October retreat, and then we'll be announcing for the 2020 next itinerary. So we'll have that coming out in all different travel realms. So we're excited about that.
I think maybe in about a year or so, give or take, it'd be interesting to have you back on the show and talk about life post-baby.
Yes, I'm interested to see how that goes as well. So I'll keep you posted. But it's we're super excited, and my thing is just take one day at a time. I'm trying not to let myself get too overwhelmed and plan ahead. We're planning, but with the idea of knowing we might need to adjust based on needs. So
here's my only travel story I will share with you with baby.
Yes, please do.
To give you an idea of what to expect the unexpected.
Mm-hmm,
At the time I worked in San Francisco, and we lived up in the Bay Area in Alameda, and we had to come down to Los Angeles. Both of our parents lived down in this area, in the Los Angeles area. And it's about a 7-hour drive. Get done with work on Friday, worked all week. I'm going to drive down Friday night with the kids and the wife, drop them off, drive back, work the next week, and then come back the next weekend. Anyways, I'm very much a planner. I'm like, okay, well, if we leave here, we'll stop here, we'll get this will take this long. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, yep. Mapping it all out.
So we load up the kids, get the back seat, we got this, we got that. We're on schedule. We're about 15 minutes down the freeway on a 7-hour drive. My oldest decides to throw up all over the back seat.
Oh, poor thing.
I mean, just projectile.
Oh, no.
Everywhere. And we're like, well, we can't live with this for the next 7 friggin' hours. But now I got to turn around. And if you're a planner, it just drives you nuts because we had to turn around another 20 minutes to get home, take her out, clean her up, clean out the back seat, get just an hour and a half, 2 hours later, it's like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
So all the
Poor
planning
thing.
in the world. Yeah, and and you see your daughter throwing up in the back seat. It's like you're not mad
Mm-hmm.
at her, you're just frustrated at the situation. But
Poor thing. I mean, and that's a perfect example of you can't plan everything, and that's something as a travel planner myself, and in planning my trips, on a different scale. But we were recently in Italy, and I had a car lined up, and I had everything situated. I emailed the driver from the train to say we'd be getting in. I'm like a super planner. I'm like, we'll be getting in a little bit late. The train was delayed. Just making sure, no problem. We get there, and I call this Italian driver, and, I had to go. You were too late, and I had to go. We were arriving in, where were we arriving? In, I think in the Amalfi area. I had to go pick up somebody in Naples, and I'm just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, information would have been good. And, I can troubleshoot, but people who aren't seasoned travelers or that have relied on me as a travel planner and a coordinator to put that together, it immediately falls under my responsibility in some way. So I was just so frustrated that no matter how much I try to plan for somebody or help, or even on my own trips, it's just kind of an inevitable thing. But, just thinking fast on your feet and doing the best you can with the situation, that's all we do. And laugh and just enjoy the experience. It's one of the funniest things we talk about our trip still. So.
Yeah, and it's a great story for me to share now, 26 years later, 25 years, But at the time, it was like, wow, you son of a bitch. I know it's not your fault, honey. I love you.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, family and stuff, you're probably used to, you're the business dad traveler, you're and then, you don't anticipate that kind of interference. So. Well,
because I was always trying to plan when the kids were smaller, like I said, it's like, okay, if I get up to, the San Francisco and work my way down, I can get back for when they play Maricosa and their lacrosse game. And then, Allie's got a soccer game on Saturday, and then I'll make it over. So, yeah, I was always planning because I had to schedule my life around my work and my kids and everything else. So, yeah, so the big wrench is. One last question I wanted to ask you, because I wanted to ask and I forgot, and then it just came back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And because of what we're talking about, what are some of the neuroses, the picadillos that people have about travel? You must hear them all. I don't want to land at this time. I want to arrive. It has to be this kind of car. Because my wife is very picky about her hotels, and I know some people are very picky about their airlines that they fly.
Yes.
And for me, I just want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to deal with all that in between. It's like, I guess, dealing with a wedding planner, And
oh, yes. And actually, we do deal with wedding planners, and we do deal with destination weddings, which are very, very tricky as well. We help plan a lot of, exactly. And you just run the range of people who have never, ever traveled before.
Yeah.
I use Europe because that's usually where it is, but that have never, left the U.S. They don't, sometimes I have to explain, make sure you get your passport enough in advance. And, I always give people the advice to copy all their documentation, because no matter how many times I say Europe is safe, but pickpocketing is prevalent, people still somehow carry their passport and their ID all in the same open or cargo pocket, or just, in the backpack on their back, or leave it on a chair, and people come, so I say copy, things. I try not to mom it too much, but I kind of tell, especially my younger travelers or newlyweds that have never left, I say, hey, copy your documents digitally, have it on a camera, do different things to kind of prepare yourself should you be stranded and need that. But, it's interesting what people request and what they're afraid that may happen. The biggest thing I hear from Americans traveling to Europe is their expectation on space and quality of hotel rooms. Mm-hmm. So they'll say, oh yeah, we, like a double queen or a double king suite. And I just, in Europe, you're lucky if you get a double kind of full bed in a lot of hotels. And if that bed may have, it could either be two twin beds pushed together, or, it's kind of a different,
yeah.
and these tiny, tiny little things. There's not a lot of, closet storage. We're just so used to, as Americans, that space. Another thing is in a lot of parts of Europe, they just have firmer mattresses. So that's something a lot of people, who are used to their foam and or Tempur-Pedic or whatnot, we're very specific sleepers as Americans, which is important. Sleep is so important. But so in Greece, they get on these kind of, I use Greece as an example because they do often have very firm mattresses, and I hear about that. So I think as much as I can before I send people somewhere to manage their expectations, that helps. But I get questions. I got a question.
You must get everything.
Yeah. Will the hotel have a converter for my husband's CPAP machine? Or sleep. And I'm like, well, it's best to bring, because I don't want to tell people exactly. And if they do have the right kinds of converters, it's probably first come, first serve. So will the hotel, my husband's very tall, will the car be, this sedan or this sedan? And I'm just like, will the first class seat, will it be a full fold down? Will it have a pod? Will it have this or that? And I'm like, well, I can't guarantee, even with this airline or this, I can't guarantee if that, Boeing XXX has, if it's a newer one, if it's been refitted. I mean, they just expect me to know everything.
Yeah.
Or, this plane, oh, well, we only booked it 24 hours ago. Can you just change my ticket? I'm like, I mean, the same rules apply to me on fare purchases as you. I have a little bit more knowledge and maybe a relationship, but that doesn't mean I get a free pass. So just some of those things I hear. And I do my best to navigate, any request that I can.
That's all. I mean, we hear the same thing when we're selling our cowboy boots and our jeans and stuff. Because we have people from South Africa, Australia, Scotland that fly in for the rodeo, for the World Championships, in Brazil, and you hear a lot of strange requests.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
It's definitely. And in Europe, they're very energy conscious. So a lot of American rooms, to my knowledge, just have a regular on-off switch. But in Europe, you have to put your room key into it. So when the room key is gone, and a lot, like just right there, we just blew some people's minds. How do I turn my lights on? And
I've been in a few of those rooms here in the United States.
Yeah, they're starting more and more, on energy efficiency. But I still see it's like the standard in Europe, and from what I've seen, they're more starting here. But
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to, I think was it Vegas? I don't know. I've been a lot of places. I can't remember where it was at, but the guy's like, he's just as soon as you walk in to the right, there's a little pad. You got to put your key in there, or things won't work. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Oh, or a client that got locked out on the balcony because they didn't realize the balcony door automatically shut. Yeah, that happened, and and even though there's a don't shut, but who on a multi-story building would put a lock? I mean, that's just endless lawsuits waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've heard and seen it all.
Those are awesome. So, thank you again for sharing all these wonderful stories. You brightened my day.
Oh, thank you, Pete. Thanks for having me and being able to talk about it. And the good. It was fun.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Congratulations again, and
thank you.
Best of luck, and hopefully, like I said, maybe in a year or so we'll be able to chat again and see where we're at.
Yes, I would love to. Hopefully I'll have amazing stories and business growth, and the baby slept fine and work is great. That would be wonderful.
There were zero problems.
Zero problems. It's just everything is just roses. Yeah.
In that case, we definitely are talking.
Absolutely.
You're the only person I know that's like that. All right. Thanks again, Christina. Appreciate the time.
Yes, thank you, Pete. Take care.
Bye-bye.